Hey there, it's Patmos and welcome back to my Rags to Riches challenge, where we are on episode 4 right now. We finished last time doing a contract, so I think it's time to head back to, in this case, the shop. And, well, we have some plans for today. We are going to look at our first ever greenhouse. We have the money for it, and, of course, we have to make some extra money, but I have some ideas how we can make some extra money without spending too much stuff on equipment. And hopefully we can also advance time a bit. We've been playing at a pretty slow pace at the moment. I think at some point I'll be speeding up the game to at least speed 5, also because winter is coming. And then hopefully we can get a few nice jobs done. But also speed ahead so that we can do some different things on maybe our own field and stuff like that. Here we are at the shop, and actually what I'm going to do is we're going to buy something. And what are we going to buy? Well, if we take a look at the contracts, we can see there is a deadwood contract. Now, this piece of machinery is very expensive. But deadwood, all you have to do is cut away a few trees. Now, this machine can do that. But there's also another machine that can do that. And we're going to check in the shop if we can find that. Let's go all the way down. And there we will find chainsaws. There's 4 chainsaws. And they all have one purpose. Cutting away trees. It doesn't matter which one we buy. Let's go for the steel one. Yes. Now we have it. We don't even have to pick it up. It is right in our hand. So if we switch our hand tools, we have the flashlight. There it is. And we can just use this and try and cut away some trees. So let's get into our tractor. Let's go hop into this job. It's field 95, deadwood, accept. Now, we bought the equipment for 1,000. If we do the right trees, we will already make 50 bucks. And I think this will also be a good contract during the winter period. So during the winter, we might be able to really get some good money out of this. If I take a look at this now, there are some nice contracts for cultivating as well. So we might as well just accept some of these so that we can do those. Is there anything else? Plowing, we can't do. Rock removal, spraying, there's none of those we can do. So I'll just accept the best. So there we go. But first, let's just move to the forest, which is not that far away. And then we're going to do some deadwooding. Now, the interesting thing with the deadwooding is it's sometimes quite hard to find the right trees. You'll see when we get there. But then the work itself is really simple. And I think this is one of the good ways and the easy ways, especially early game, to make a little bit of money. You don't make tons of it. So it's not like you get like 6,000 euro contracts to get rid of some deadwood. They're usually relatively small contracts. And they will sometimes take up quite a bit of time because it can be quite hard to actually find the trees. I've actually already noticed on the riverbend map that sometimes trees, the deadwood trees, even spawn inside existing trees. So you really have to make sure that you look very carefully to find them. I have no clue on this map though, so I hope it's actually relatively easy to find them. And then we have to cut away those trees. Now, we can see it is to our left here. I'm just going to stick to the big road, I think. Let's just park over there. We'll have to drive back anyway to do the cultivating contract, so that will probably be a good way to go. So I'm going to get this one around. We'll just swing it around. Now, these curbs on this map are relatively high. Look at my tractor bouncing. Can't even get up sometimes. So that is a little thing to take in mind. If you run around with equipment and you take those things from the side, you will be in trouble. But yeah, oh, look at this. This is nice and open. I think we have an easy time spotting the trees. I think we already see them because those are deadwood trees. But don't go by the appearance. Always check. They should have a mark like this on them. Now, this is a tree that we have to cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our saw out. Now, you can see right now it won't saw. We have to rotate it so that we make a slide. And now we can saw it. There it goes. And as soon as it's done, it will slide away. It might fall over or just stay up. And we can see 14% of the contract is already done. Now, the only downside to having a big chainsaw in your hands is that you can't run anymore. Luckily, as long as you don't go in a vehicle, if you press 3 on your keyboard, it will go away. It will put it away. And if you press 3 again, it will grab it again. So we can now just run towards the next tree if we find it. Now, there's one. And then as soon as we are there, we hit the 3 again. There it is, and we can cut it. Now, the trees should mostly be in the red circle that you see on the map. So you have a little reference on where the trees should be. Sometimes they can be a little bit out of there, though. So be aware that they can be out of there a little bit. But yeah, this is a good tree. Let's go. We're already, with this tree, over halfway done. And yeah, I really think this is a pretty easy way to get some money flowing in quickly. Always check, though, for the marking, because the contract specifies if you do the wrong tree, you get a penalty of 2,000. And that's not going to make this job worth anything. So then it's actually going to cost us money. That's not what we want. And on some occasions, you won't find any trees that aren't really deadwood that won't be cuttable. But sometimes there are actually trees right on the border of the red circle. And you're like, oh, that looks like a deadwood tree. And you cut it and then it's not the right tree. So you better make sure you check that you're cutting the right tree. Now, we are at the border of the area now. So what I like to do is always look up a little bit to see if I can spot the tree without any branches. Now, there's one. See, there's one tree with no branch in it. Could be that it's the one that we just cut and that it's still standing there, but it looks like this is the right tree. Yes, okay. So that's how you can spot them. Now, of course, this isn't a very dense forest, so this wasn't too hard. If you get into a real dense forested area, that might be a bit harder. Now, there we go. We have completed the contract, and we actually already earned back our chainsaw. And as soon as we get more deadwood contracts in, that will be very easy, because, hey, that's easy money. And the chainsaw, you don't need fuel for it, you don't need anything for it, it won't wear down. You just have it on you, and as soon as you see a deadwood contract, you can even skip them a bit until you get to a field that's relatively close anyway for another contract job, like some cultivating. You go ahead and you make sure that you do that field, and then you can do the deadwood as well and make a bit of money on it. So, in my opinion, they're good, easy money, and not a lot of work, so there we go. We have to be a bit careful, of course, with the bumps here. I'll show you what I mean. Like, woo! And now there was a field close that we are going to cultivate. Now, of course, we do make a tiny bit of money on our own now in our field. But I think we do need a ton of money extra anyways. So what I'm going to do is we're going to skip ahead. We're going to do the cultivating contracts. I believe there were actually... let me just maneuver right. There were 3. Yes, so I'm going to do all 3 cultivating contracts. I will speed it up. And when I'm done, we are going to buy a greenhouse. So let's move ahead, get this work out of the way, and then we're going to start our own greenhouse. Alright, we finished 3 cultivating contracts. Let's get the money in. I think that's some good money, so that'll give us some play money when we actually go to buy those greenhouses. And now it's time to head back towards our little land. But what you haven't heard yet, because things were speeded up, but I've been getting annoyed by it. My tractor's beeping. Every now and then I get like a double high beep, which I'm not a big fan of. And I think it's trying to tell me that it wants some new diesel. Because, well, you know, you can see the diesel is running quite low. So on the way back to our little field, we're going to actually get some fuel in. Make sure that we can do a lot more extra work. I think at some point we also have to invest a little bit of money in servicing our tractor. You can see on the right that the blue bar underneath the wrench is slowly going down. And from what I've been told, but I'm not an expert on that, is that, you see, there was the beep, is that your tractor will slowly start to lose horsepower and stuff when you don't service it. And of course, in the end, it will make work slower, so it can't pull the equipment as good as it used to, so it might even, like right now, the cultivator, we can work that with 15 kilometers an hour, but that might even drop to like 14 or 13 kilometers an hour, which of course is no good. That's something that we don't want. So servicing might also be something that we have to invest a little bit of time on. First of all, though, we're going to get some fuel to get the thing nagging off me, off my back, because I don't like that. So let's drive in here, and that way we should be able to get some new fuel in. Of course, it might be nice to really stop, and now, see, there we go. We can see the fuel gauge running up, and we're fully refueled. It'll cost you 148, so it is not that expensive to refuel your tractor, which I think is nice. But I do like the whole idea that they thought of this. Of course, this is my first farming simulator. Maybe this has been a thing in the games for years and years. But for me, it's a first time experiencing this. And I really love that they put in little details like that. So you actually have fuel usage, you consume it. You have to get some fuel every now and then. I guess at some point, it might be nice to just get a fuel tank on your own farm. And we really have a farm so that we don't have to drive individual tractors to the gas station. I could also imagine that you have like big tanker cars that you might get, that you can simply drive past the tractor and then refill it. I don't know how that works. That's all just guessing my part, but I like it that those little things are in the game. And we have 19,945 euros at the moment. That's what we're going to use on, hopefully, some nice equipment, or in this case, a greenhouse. Now we can see there's elevation on our land, and that's something that I struggle a little bit with. Because with those elevations, sometimes when you place a building, at least that's my experience, stuff will change the landscape. So I'm not going to place anything out here because I want to keep this land pristine. We're going to build the greenhouses up here. I get the idea that it might not be the best spot in terms of close to where everything is, but I think this is the most flat land, and this is probably a good place to try and build a greenhouse. I believe we got the water tanker as well, but I haven't checked. Let's go. Let's first build ourselves a greenhouse. So we go into the build menu. There we are. We can see our plot of land. We can see our stuff here. And then these are all the silos and all the constructibles, but we have to go to factories and then greenhouses. Now we can buy a small one, it's 9,000. We could also just go for the bigger one, 18,000. I guess this should produce... Oh wow, what is it, like flowing? What's happening? Land is not owned by you. I think I own this land. Yep. It's just interfering with something else. What's out there? Is it the grass? Is that preventing me from building this? Interfering with another object. Oh, that's weird. We have to pick up the grass here so that we can actually... Oh, we can also build it on our property, of course. Kinda looks like it's interfering with the grass here. Okay. Oh, that would be... I guess a new thing to me, if it would really interfere with that grass. You know what? I'm okay with it. We're just going to work with it. So what I'm going to try is to just mow it a bit. Get all the stuff into the foraging wagon, and then maybe it's clear and we can actually use it. If not, we'll just have to find a different spot for it. I actually was anticipating that we were just getting the small greenhouse. But with the jobs that we did, we might actually be able to get the bigger one already. It will rip us of most of our money. We'll be left with like 1,000, almost 2,000. But I don't think that's bad. I mean, we can really use that money. And I think a greenhouse will make us some nice money. Attach, there we go. Okay, let's lower that one. And then I think soon we'll have to turn it on already. I don't know how much it will slow us down, but we'll see. It already has a bit of grass in it, so that's good as well. Let me just unfold the mower already. There it goes. Let's lower it. Okay, let's turn on the mower and turn on the loading wagon. Now, of course, we can't do anything out here. This is our property, so here we can. There we go. And now let's see if we can really pick up the grass that we mow as well. By the looks of it, we can. Just have to go over this a couple of times, drive back and forth, although this is a pretty tight turn. That might not be the best way to do this. And then, yep, there we go. Drive, drive, drive. And I hope once we've cleared the land, we can actually then build the greenhouse on here. But yeah, we have to leave that on. I'll turn the mower off for a second while we run. I think they'll speed things up a bit. And we turn it back on. Luckily the mower also does the rowing for a bit, so we can easily pick up that grass. Oh, tough job. So we'll see. It's taking me more time than I expected, because I was just thinking, oh, we'll just get it quickly done. But the turning is a bit troublesome with this big trailer that we're carrying right now. Well, we are filling it up with grass nicely, so that's actually bonus. It's just free money. I don't think there's actually a quality difference in things like that. So grass is just grass. I think there's just, we don't get as much out of this as we would get out of grass that we actually grow on our land. I think that's the difference. So we get only a minor amount of grass here. Now there's no, oh, there's a little bit of mowing to be done here. Let's get that, and then drive over these little piles that we left. Turn off the mower for a second. I think I'm going to do another run, and then we'll try again. If it's not working, we can just... Oh, well, we could just continue anyway. Let's just make sure that we really clear this area out. That's probably best. There we go. Let's do some more mowing, pick it up. There we go. I don't think we can get rid of these bushes, though. We can't mow those away, so I don't know how to deal with those, actually. Probably have to do, like, terraforming, or do we have to get the chainsaw out? Can I then cut them away? And that would make a difference. Oh, that would actually be interesting to try, maybe. That could actually be something to try. And then, hopefully, that will get rid of everything. Alright, last run up here. Oh, there's the edge of the map. Okay, so no last run. Right, let's raise the mower and collapse it. I think we should be there now. And let's switch back. Let's turn that off and raise the intake. There we go. Okay. Well, it's now pretty clear. Let me just get my machine out. Can we now cut this away? Apparently not. So that's not going to happen. Okay. Well, that's fine. Let's run a bit out of the way. And then we're going to try the building again. I kind of hope that we can now actually place this in. Oh, yeah, it's clear now. Oh, good. Look at this. Now we have the room for it. I'll just put it right here on the row. All right, place the item with that one. Toggle free mode. Toggle snapping. Right, let's toggle snapping so it snaps to the road. Land not owned by you. Oh, we own this land. Don't worry about it. 18,150. Okay, see? Now this is what I mean. It now changes the landscape, and now all of a sudden there's a few bumps and stuff. That's kind of not what I want. So if you have tips for me on how to do that, leave those in the comment section. How can I work with this and make sure that we don't get what we see right here? Alright, what we have here is now a greenhouse. This is on my farm. There's no active production, and there's a building storage. Let's open this door if we can. There we go. Let's open this door too, because I just like the doors open. And now here we can set up this cute little greenhouse. I like it. Okay, let's go into the menu. Now there's chili peppers, garlic, lettuce, napa cabbage, spring onions, strawberries, and tomatoes. I don't really know if there's a big difference. I do see something called cycles per month. I guess that's how much growth it will be. But I guess that's also maybe connected to how much water these products will use. This one has cycles per month 1008. And I believe that has, with the tomatoes, the highest cycle. Now, I'm going to go with lettuce. So we have to activate the lettuce. Now it will start to grow lettuce, but it needs water. And we have no water in here. So what we have to do now, see, materials missing, is make sure that we add water to it. I'm also going to store the lettuce because it will be placed out here on pallets. And since we have a fork on our tractor, we can lift the pallets with our tractor. So I'm thinking we can just deliver pallets to the selling place and make the most money out of it. And if we take a look at pricing, we have to take a look at the lettuce, of course. I think it's down here. We can see that in February we get the highest price, and there's almost 500 euros in price difference per 1,000 liters. And I think there will be 1,000 liters on a pallet. So if we can save some lettuce, make it up to February, and then sell off those pallets, we'll probably make the most money. You also have the option to sell every month, and you just auto sell for the current price. But I think that's not going to make us the most money. So we'll do it this way. Now we have to head out to our tractor, of course, dump our equipment and get the water tank out. And then what we have to do is start filling up the greenhouse. Now, when we bought the water tank, we already filled it up. So we can drop it off, make sure that we get some good money out of it, or to get the money going so that the growth, basically the growth should be going, and we make some money by growing the lettuce. And we can use the spare time, hopefully, to fill up the storage tanks completely, or at least a lot more, so that we don't have to worry about water for a while. It can just keep going, and we make passive money, basically. Although the money won't be flowing in until we actually sell it, so we have to wait until February. But it's already October, so that's not too long of a wait. And I think it'll be quite interesting. So let's drive with 2,008 liters of water that we already have in our tank. Let's go to our little greenhouse. You can see it in the distance. We now are just not landowners, we are building owners. This is our first structure that we have in the game at the moment, so that's pretty neat. I believe we can just drive next to it and then start to empty it out. Yep, let's start the overloading. There we go, and we can immediately see plants appearing. So while this is just loading up, you can see there's now 2,079 water in here. There's plants appearing. Now, they won't just be harvested straight away, of course. That's going to take some time. But we've got the first water in. So next thing up, filling up the greenhouse. I'll do that, speed it up. Alright, well, we filled it up for like 12,000 liters. I think that's good enough for now. I mean, we don't have to completely fill it up. I think this will last it quite some time. Let's go check. You can't see exactly how long, but take a look at it. 12,433 liters. The first 23 liters of lettuce are already harvested, so that looks good. I just don't know how quick production will go and how much we're going to get out of this, but we'll see. I think this should last us for quite some time, so we'll see how this goes. And then, of course, we're going to just store it and then bring it to the selling place for a good price. And if we take a look at that again, the lettuce, we can see we're now at the low price. At the high price, we can get around 2,000 for it. At the farmer's market, which is not too far away. So I think we're good on that. Let's just hold off a few months and make sure that we make the most money out of this. Now, we did our grassland. It's ready. We have it fully fertilized. I believe our little foraging wagon is also filled up, and I'm going to check on that. I hope it actually is, but it could be that there's still some room more. And then, of course, at the high price for that, we will sell that too. That should make us some good money. It doesn't really look filled up, though. How much more space does it have? Probably a bit. 43% dirt. Oh, yeah, that's not... Oh, I can't see 6,000 liters of grass. Okay, well, I believe it can hold 16, but it's okay. That means that our own piece of land is all worked. Our greenhouse is ready to keep going. So we can probably do a few jobs again. Let's see what we have to make some money. There's a deadwood one, but it's all the way on the other side of the map, so that might not be the best option. Is there something close? Well, field 3 is not too far. Field 18. We could actually do these two with the cultivator and then drive forward to do the deadwood as well. Fertilizing also not going to give me a lot of money. And all of this is also not so good. So I'm actually going to take these cultivating jobs. And the deadwood one. And there we go. We have to take the cultivator, of course. That might be good. We want to do some cultivating jobs. So let's line up and then make sure we attach it. And then we're going to get going to those jobs. Luckily, last time we already fueled up, so we are completely ready to go. And we should be on our way to the first field. Meet you there. Alright, all contracts are done. Let me head back to the tractor. It's almost getting nighttime though, so we should be aware of that it'll be dark soon, and I don't like to play in the dark. Plus, I'm just going to put back the time. Well, let's first complete the contracts. We now have a little bit of extra money, so we have some money to spare, but let's just put the time on speed 5 again. And for now, we're going to leave it at that for a while we play. Because one of the things to keep in mind, this is the rags to riches challenge. Not the make money as fast as you can in any means necessary challenge. And one of the things I always keep reminding myself of, because as a guy that tries to create YouTube content, it's good to keep reminding yourself of that. Gaming is for fun. It is to have a good time. And I really have a good time with this game. I have a lot of fun with it. It's so cool to just drive around all this equipment, use it all to build your own farming empire. I mean, that's what this challenge is about, to just build our own farming empire. It's not about making as much money as quickly as possible and just do all the contracts that you can squeeze in a day. So by reminding yourself of that, to just have fun, we can just have fun with this challenge. We can just try to be a self-made man. We started with nothing, or maybe less than nothing, because we started with 100,000 grand debt. We have to actually repay the debt at some point to the bank. All the equipment that we own was paid off for with a loan. So basically it's the bank's equipment. We can probably use it. We can do some stuff with it. I'm now taking the long route, by the way, while I'm talking. So I might just turn around and take that right turn. That saves some time. But we're just in it for the fun, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to speed ahead now with time a bit, and just leave it running at a nice pace. Not because we don't want to make money and stuff. Of course we want to make money, but the most important thing to do is to make money off of our own operations. We're getting into winter time, so the grass won't be growing. So we have to find other ways to make money. So we will be doing contracts. But whether it takes us 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even 25 in-game years to build our own empire, that doesn't matter, as long as we have fun doing it. And that should be the aim. So right now I'm just going to drive back, and I could probably check out if there's contracts to do. I don't care. I mean, the sun's going under. It's already pretty low, so by the time we get back to our own fields, it might already be dropped. And it might get dark. And then we're just going to skip ahead to November and see what we can do in that month. So it is, I think it's good for a lot of gamers. Like, if you do challenges and stuff, do them for the fun of it, not because you feel pressure or you have to do it, or like, I have to squeeze as many contracts as I can into this day to get as much money as we can. That's not important. It's important to have fun. And of course, in this game, when you do the Rags to Riches challenge, yes, you will be doing quite a few contracts in the beginning, because you need some starting money. You need to buy some equipment so that you can actually do some contracts. We had to do contracts at some point, buy the cultivator. Now we have the greenhouse, another way to actually make some money in this game. And that's all good, and we had fun doing that. And now I want to focus on working on our own stuff. Now our field's completely ready. We just need it to grow for 4 months to get the maximum yield. Well, that's going to take some time, because the next 3 months there won't be any growth, and after that we still have to wait those months until it's fully grown. In the meantime, though, we still have grass that we can deliver at the highest price. We still get lettuce in that we can deliver for a good price to the farmer's market at some point. We have to water the greenhouse. And yes, we can do some contracts. So that will be the focus for this game. So if you have any tips or tricks for me to maximize the amount of fun and to just have a nice game, let me know. If you have only tips for me like, oh, you can do this, you can make money that way, there's something hidden there that'll give you 10 grand, that's all very nice, but that's not the purpose of this game. Purpose should not be to get as much money as quickly as you can, because then I'll just put the time at half the real-time speed and we'll just be doing contracts all the time. But that's actually not really what I want to do. So yeah, I think that's the cool part. How do you all do these type of games? Do you play the same way? Do you just try to have fun, and at the same time, while having fun, part of the fun is of course making money and doing stuff? Or are you just in it to complete the challenge as quickly as possible and move on to the next, and maybe sometimes forget a little bit to just have fun? Let me know in the comments how you all do that. And while you're typing a comment, don't forget to also smash that like button. It does help me out in the algorithm, so that would be very much appreciated. As I am now going to park up this cultivator right here, and I am going to take a final look on the greenhouse. How are things going and progressing before we're actually going to skip ahead to the next day. There's our little greenhouse. I hope we're not running out of water too quickly, because then we'll have to fetch some water again. But of course, hey, that's normal farm life, so that should be okay. Let's check. We still have 12,000, so it has only used a few hundred liters. It has accumulated 201 lettuce already. 201 liters, so I don't know how fast this goes, but that seems like a nice space. In a few hours, 200 liters. I don't... Oh, 203. We get multiple liters a minute by the looks of it. So that should be a very good deal. Alright, let's close this door so that it's not in the way anymore. We can do the same here. Let's just close the doors for when we have to drive by in our tractor. And with this magnificent look of our tractor and the greenhouse, we're going to speed time ahead. And I'll see you in the morning when we're going to decide what to do next. Well, it is starting to get morning, but before we get going to do some winter farming, this episode is over. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. Leave all your comments and suggestions in the comment section. I will respond to them. Then, of course, I hope to see you in the next episode. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.